everyone. This is the second grammar video of the day. It is the present perfect continuous. Again, this is a tense that people find very confusing and do not use very often. Okay, but I hope you begin to see a pattern in the way we make our tenses in English. So basically, the present perfect continuous is used for the exact same reasons we use the present perfect simple, except if it's a long action. So if you watched the previous video, you will know that we use the present perfect when we have a past finished action, but there is a result in the present, like, oh, you have cut your hair. A life experience, like I've been to Paris, or a change over time. It's like, oh, my daughter's face has changed a lot recently. So these three rules still are used in the present perfect continuous, except we make it continuous because it is a long action. So it's these rules plus long action equal present perfect continuous. So if we look at the first example, past finished action with a result in the present, we can ask the question, have you been playing guitar a lot recently? You sound great. So this is a past action, but the result in the present is we can hear the person has improved their guitar skills. If we want to use life experience, we can say something like, I have been cooking since I was 10 years old. So this is a life experience, that something you have been doing, but it's a long action. You've been doing this semi-consistently throughout your whole life. So it's a life experience that you've had for a long time. So this is a little bit different than I have eaten kimchi. That is maybe like one time or maybe 100 times. We do not know. But I have been cooking since I was 10 is an action as a life experience you've had over a long period of time. Long action. Okay. Now, with the change over time, often we can use these ones in the simple or the continuous, and the meaning is the same. So I can say, my daughter's face has changed a lot recently, present perfect simple. Or I can say, my daughter, her name is Callow. Callow's face has been changing a lot recently. The meaning is the same. So yeah, there's a couple situations where the present perfect and the present perfect continuous can be used interchangeably. Change is one verb where this is true, but also work and live are other verbs that you can use in the simple or the continuous, and the meaning is exactly the same. So I have lived in London for 5 years. I have been living in London for 5 years. Meaning is the same. Same with work. I have been working at Fanshawe for 5 years. I have worked at Fanshawe for 5 years. Meaning is the same. Okay, so let's take a look at how we construct the present perfect continuous. I'm going to do my pausing thing. Okay, here we go. So, in the positive, I'm going to say I have been eating a lot of snacks these days. Okay, so how do we make the present perfect continuous? I want you to remember what we looked at when we looked at the present continuous, the past continuous, and the future continuous. The verb to be tells us the tense in continuous tenses. So the verb to be in the present continuous, I am teaching. Am is in the present. In the past continuous, I was teaching. Was is in the past. So the verb to be is in the past. I will be teaching. Will be is in the future. Now we have to use the present perfect continuous, and we have to take our verb to be and put it in the present perfect. So here we have our verb to be in the present perfect. So if I use the verb to be in the present perfect simple, I'll say I have been. That's subject, have or has, past participle of be. So again, the verb has agrees with the subject. So it's I have been, you have been, he, she, it has been. So that stays the same. And then we always have our verb to be in the present perfect, just like we have our verb to be in the present continuous, in the past continuous, in the future continuous. The present perfect is in the verb to be is in the present perfect continuous. And then we have our normal continuous rules where we have our main verb plus ing, and this is how we know it is a long action. So I have been eating a lot of snacks these days. So this is a long continuous action. It continues until now. And we can see the present result because I'm gaining lots of weight, which I think we all are in the quarantine, and that is okay. All right, so how do we make this negative, yes, no, or WH question? I want you to pause, and on your notebook, I want you to see if you can take this sentence and make it these things. Okay, pause now. Okay, hopefully you are done. Let's make it negative. So just like the present perfect simple, we're gonna take the auxiliary verb have and make it negative. I haven't been eating healthy food these days. Okay. Yes, no question. Same rule as usual. We're going to take the verb closest to the subject, and we are going to switch them. So we're going to say, have you, then don't forget the been eating a lot of snacks recently. And of course, WH, we use the same structure here. We just put a WH word here. So, how many snacks have you been eating these days? And the answer is a lot of snacks. Okay, so this is how we make the present perfect continuous. It really is just like a process of getting used to using all of these words together. I know because it's so many words, like subject plus have plus been plus main verb plus ing, it feels like it's really a lot. But really, the more you practice, it becomes natural. Of course, we all also contract these two. So I don't usually say I have been eating. I usually say I've been eating. And even been is reduced to been. I've been eating. So this becomes kind of one word. It becomes I've been I've been eating. I've been eating a lot of snacks lately. Okay, so let me pause one more time to just give you one more example of how this is used. All right. Okay, I'm back. All right, now there's kind of 3 different ideas of time that we can use with the present perfect continuous. Okay, so let's look at this first one. Here we have a continuing action that has stopped in the recent past, but there is a result in the present. So this is the exact same use as the present perfect simple, except with a long action. So yeah, let's use this example. It's been snowing all night. In this situation, I want you to imagine that you wake up in the morning and you look outside your window, and what do you see if it's been snowing all night? You see like snow on top of everything. There's snow in your window. So we can see the result in the present, and the result in the present is there is snow everywhere. Now, this action was long because when it snows, that is often a long continuing action, but it has stopped and there is a result in the present. And the result in the present is we can see a lot of snow. So we know it has been snowing. Okay, now there's this other use of the present perfect continuous. And this is kind of where the present perfect continuous and the present continuous mix. So if I look outside, in fact, I am looking outside right now and it is snowing right now. Right now it is snowing. But so I can talk about the present only. It is snowing. Continuous action in the present. But it started snowing about 45 minutes ago. So I want to express that this is an action that began in the past and continues now. And for that, I'm going to use the present perfect continuous. So it has been snowing since, so we're going to use our for or our since, which you can also use with the present perfect continuous, since 45 minutes ago. And in this situation, this action continues in the present. Now, teacher, you tell me, what is the difference? Like if somebody says to me, it's been snowing all night, and if someone says it's been snowing since 45 minutes ago, how do I know that one has stopped and one continues? And my answer to that question is you cannot tell from the grammar. You have to have context. It is important. Grammar does not live on a whiteboard or live in an exercise book. Grammar is a situation in our lives. So in this case, you wake up and you see it is not actively snowing, but you see there is snow on the ground. So you know that the action stopped and you are talking about a result. But if you look outside your window and it is snowing right now, but it began 45 minutes ago, you will say this and you will understand that it is this one. We have to remember that grammar does not exist outside of reality. Like it has to be inside of a situation to make sense. Okay, so these two are very similar, and remember, context is important. Okay, finally we have this one, and this is for a repeated action over time. So I can say, I've been going to the gym since last year. I've been going to the gym since last year. Okay, now, different than snowing, going to the gym is not a completely continuous action. You do not decide to go to the gym and then you live at the gym and you sleep at the gym and you eat at the gym and you are at the gym for 24 hours. You go to the gym regularly. So Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, blah, blah, blah. So we can use the present perfect continuous for a repeated action. It is not necessarily a continuous action, but it is repeated action. And if it is repeated action, but over a long period of time, and it continues till now, you can also use the present perfect continuous. Okay, so I think the important thing to remember for almost all the continuous tenses is that we have the same rules as the simple tenses, but except for long actions. And remember, you cannot use continuous tenses for state verbs, and this is true for the present perfect continuous as well. So if it is a state verb like believe or love, you have to use it in the present perfect simple always, even if it is a long action. Okay, so I hope these videos were helpful. There's lots of exercises for you to do in the content section under week 6 grammar. I will be posting the answers to those tomorrow. No, that's a lie. On Friday. But really, you probably don't need to have them finished until the end of the weekend. I'm more worried about your essays tonight, so work on that. Also, remember, there is no class tomorrow. I will not be posting a lesson tomorrow. So please use tomorrow to do what you need to do to work on your grammar. And I will see you again on Friday. Goodbye, my loves.